Hi again, it's Churusaa. Just wanted to do a little bit of a check-in, let you guys know what was going on, and kind of give you an idea for where I am right now. I know the last time I checked in, I was on day 1 of a water fast. That actually went on to 1 day for the video that I uploaded. There was another one that I did I did a day of refeeding, did a 2-day water fast, did 3 days of refeeding, and then did a 3-day water fast, followed by a day of refeeding and then another 1-day water fast. It was a big mess. I didn't even want to upload the rest of the videos for that one because I really, at that point, I wasn't sure whether I wanted to keep going and try to make it to the 1 week or 2 week mark or not. But part of the way through the process, I actually found some information. There's a fellow, Harley, you may have heard of him, or you probably know him as a durian rider. Real big into him. I've been following his feed for quite some time. Actually, several years ago, he was first introduced to me. He's been kind of a regular staple of my YouTube viewing since then. But I was on his channel looking around for some different things, looking for some inspiration, because I myself am a vegan and was looking for different ways that I could improve and kind of take off from where I am to where I'd like to be. And you know, something that he said actually struck me. The whole time that I was water fasting, of course, I was trying to find as much information as I could from as many different disagreeing sources to try to find the truth. Find out who's selling what and what everybody's angle is to make sure that I'm taking care of myself and that I'm giving the best information that I can. And Durian Rider's channel, definitely check him out. One of the things that he brought up was that people who water fast typically don't have any more videos after their water fast, and I can certainly understand why. There's a lot of embarrassment associated with not being able to follow through, or, you know, in one video saying you're going to make it X number of days or a week or whatever, and not making it to that goal. What he pointed out was something interesting to me, and I actually did check on this, and you can check on it too, is that people who water fast will lose weight, and there's no question about that. Depriving your body of calories and going into that state is always going to give you weight loss results. I say in forums and comments, and it's true, that, and you know from my history and what you've seen already, for those of you who have watched, and if you haven't watched, definitely go through the backlog if you have time and you can catch up. But I've been omnivore, I've eaten the standard American diet. I've been vegan, raw vegan, whole foods vegan. I've been vegetarian. I didn't post any videos on that. It lasted a week, and that was about 2 years ago. I stopped being vegetarian, and I can't close that out with a steak. Yeah, go figure, being vegetarian is harder than being vegan. Who knew? But I've done all of that. I've water fasted, I've dry fasted, I've done the master cleanse, I've done all of it, really. I've juice fasted, for heaven's sake. And the question is never, do you get results? Because in everything that I've tried, no matter which way I go, paleo or Atkins or vegan or raw vegan or pescatarian or vegetarian, it doesn't matter what I do. As with most people, there are always going to be results at the beginning. So the question isn't, are there results or can you see results? The question is it sustainable? Am I going to continue feeling healthy, feeling energetic, and being able to continue doing the things I love to do while taking care of myself in this way? And in a lot of those cases, in a lot of those situations, especially looking back, knowing how I feel now and the levels of energy that I have, obviously most of those other ways really aren't feeding my body. They're really not feeding my mind. And so, yes, those things got results. No, they weren't sustainable. No, they didn't give me the energy that I needed to continue doing what I love to do and what I want to do. And kind of circling back, thanks for staying with me and thanks for following. But circling back, what Durian Rider, what Harley said was that if you look at the videos on YouTube and you follow the accounts of people who water fast, you'll see that they lose weight and they stop making videos. You won't see any videos from them after the water fast, or you'll see in their videos, in their later videos, that they've actually put on more weight than they were carrying before they started water fasting. I thought it was a little bit odd. And so while I was fasting, I believe it was during the 3-day portion, no, it was my last 1 day, I went through and I pulled the first 3 YouTube videos I could find. And anybody who wants to check on this, please, post it in the comments, let me know what you find. But in every case, I actually found 3, the first 3 that I found, the first 3 when I searched for water fasting, I found their water fasting videos, and then I found more recent videos where they actually were. It was obvious that they were carrying a lot of extra weight above and beyond where they were at the beginning of their day 1 video. And I thought that was kind of odd. It actually gave me pause, and I decided to give up the fasting and try something else. And I'm happy to say that while I'm not 100% raw, and really I would have to say most people who say they are either out of their gourd or not paying attention, although maybe it's possible somewhere in the world a lot of the foods that we have access to, at least in the United States, are processed in some way that makes them not 100% raw. And so while it certainly is possible to have a day where all you eat are raw foods, for example, I've been eating the bejesus out of bananas, and obviously, to begin with, not enough. This might be a meal for me, and as Durian Rider has explained a few times, these 5 bananas, maybe half a meal. You actually want to try to go for as many as 10, but even up from there, if you really want to go raw vegan and succeed, and not, as he says, get dropped off the deep end. So, sustaining myself on bananas, that's probably not something that I want to do financially, even at U.S. prices of, if I can remember it, I think right now at the local grocery store, my organic bananas are 64, 69 cents a pound. Even at those rates, I really don't want to try to sustain myself completely off of that. And it's a personal decision. I have kids that I need to feed. I have a wife, and we're trying to work things out, and also getting a business started. I do IT consulting. It's a lot of fun. But back to the point, not just bananas. I've been actually in the Whole Foods market. I love them. $6.99 a pound. Medjool dates. They're dried, but not too dry. It depends on when you get them. These have actually been a lot softer than what I usually get, and certainly not bad. And so I've been eating a lot of dates. This, when I first packed this bag, was pretty close to 2 pounds of dates. Not a lot by raw food standards. This, I'm not sure. I should be counting the calories. I should be trying to make sure that I get enough. But I've actually been using fullness as a way of determining that, and kind of rough approximations. I really should be getting in and trying to count the calories on this to make sure I'm getting at least 2,000 to 3,000 a day, as per Harley's recommendations, and we'll see where that goes. Also, water. These are gallon bottles. I get them for 99 cents at the local Whole Foods store, and so that works pretty well for me too, as far as getting a good, clean, reliable source of water. Water here, this is Columbus, Ohio. And the city water is maybe kind of iffy, and the house that I'm living in right now did sit for quite a while, so the pipes are kind of funny. There's a little bit of a taste. And certainly with just eating the cleanest foods that I can get, I can taste that in ways that I hadn't been able to before. I did mention in another video earlier on that I quit smoking. After that video, I actually did resume smoking for a period of, I believe, another 2 months before I really got my stuff together, really decided what I wanted to do, and quit smoking again. And I have been successfully a non-smoker since, I would have to say, October would have been when I quit. Early October. Didn't bother marking the date because it doesn't matter anymore. I don't smoke. I'm never going to smoke again, so it's kind of a non-thing. But to recount my experience with the raw vegan thing, not 100% raw, raw focused, but using kind of the Dr. McDougall plan of sticking with starch. Lots of bananas, lots of dates, lots of white rice. I did find out when I first started doing this that my energy levels were really low and that I was still putting on a lot of weight. I've since realized that I was using this kind of vegan butter I was absolutely in love with, and one of my favorite podcasters and authors, her name is Colleen Patrick Goudreau, actually recommended the stuff after I started buying it. But while it's an improvement over dairy butter, it's not health promoting. It's good. I think it's called Smart Life or Light Life or something like that. It's delicious, and it's light, and it's wonderful for the occasional saute or buttered bread. Excuse me. But as far as getting that 80-10-10 ratio, and definitely go find 811. I think there's even a copy of it on the Internet Archive, or archive.org, if you go look for it. But that ratio is really hard to maintain. Believe it or not, it's extraordinarily hard to maintain if you're consuming butter, whether it's plant-based or animal-based butter. If you're adding oils to your foods, anything like that is really going to make it hard to stick with that 80% calories from carbohydrates, 10% calories from fats, and 10% calories from proteins. And that's just because if you're looking at it in terms of calories, you would be getting about 100 calories from a tablespoon. And you can check the nutrition facts on this, and I encourage you to. A tablespoon of the vegan butter or Smart Life or Light Life is actually going to be about 100 calories per tablespoon, and that is the recommended serving size. So when you start looking at it in those terms, if you put some of it into your rice for one meal, enough to kind of saute and brown it up a little bit and give you a nice, I can't remember if it's a browning reaction or a Maillard reaction or what it's called, but where you get that nice crispy rice at the bottom. If you put enough in there to do that, you've basically shot your fat intake for the day. No other fats anywhere else except for the little small amounts of fats that you may get from your vegetables or your fruits or your nuts or whichever you want to add. Once you add that little bit of butter, you've basically shot the whole thing. I've been using as kind of my go-to. I don't have time to choke down some a hand of bananas, or I want to make sure that I'm getting a complete meal and complete nutrition for the day. I've started doing white rice with Bragg's liquid aminos and water in the pan to keep it from sticking, and because I'm using day-old rice that I keep in the fridge, because I used to do a lot of stir fries, and so that's kind of a habit for me. That's been my go-to. I usually do about 2 cups, which I think works out to somewhere around 300 to 340 calories, 350 calories, depending on how you count it, and depending on the amount of liquid aminos I put on it, the liquid aminos weren't an intentional purchase. It's just the Whole Foods was out of soy sauce. If anybody knows the difference between the two as far as nutritionally, or if it's just something so that people who are allergic to soy can still have soy sauce, I mean, leave it in the comments or send me a message. I'd love to hear about it. But I just wanted to give you a quick look so that you can objectively see any kind of difference. This is after, heaven's sake, after the small amount of weight loss that I achieved doing fasting, I think I maybe lost 5 or 10 pounds. I'm not sure what I weigh right now, but maybe we can check and find out. I'll cut something in here in a little while. Okay, so as promised, I'm going to go ahead and do a quick weigh-in, let you see what I've got going on here. We're going to go ahead and prep the scale. This is one that I bought a few years ago. I really, really love it. But it lets me plug in a few things and actually measures body fat and body water content using some electrodes here. So we're going to go ahead and prep this and make sure it knows who I am. 5'11", 27 years old, and I don't know if you can see that there. It's a little tough to make out. Male and non-athletic. And let's see what we get. $180.4, very consistent with what we were told, what I had heard from Durian Ryder about weight gain after fasting, and 19.3% body fat. I actually have gained weight, but my body fat has dropped from where it used to be, and body water is stable at 54.0. I don't know if anybody's familiar with the metrics for where that should fall, but certainly leave a comment, let me know, send me whatever you can if you know that that's low or high or right on the money, and I look forward to hearing back from you. But anyway, one thing that I would report is gas has been a big thing for me, especially since really transitioning over to a mostly raw vegan diet, and I've come to expect it. It's something that I'm familiar with from transitioning from a sad diet to a vegan diet. There was a lot of gas while my body sort of recalibrated to it. So I'll let you know about what I find out later on. There was some information suggesting that it might be underripe bananas, and I did notice that when I switched to eating brown spotted bananas, absolutely no green on them, that the volume of gas, the frequency of gas, and the odor of my gas all decreased significantly. I'm still, as you heard a minute ago, I'm still letting them rip, and they feel great. I feel great. I have a lot more energy and much less gas. Got rid of the green bananas and all of the undigestibles that came with those. Got rid of those, got rid of most of the fat, switched to a lot of water, a lot of bananas, a lot of dates, a lot of white rice without butter, without oil, just the liquid aminos, the white rice, and maybe a little bit of salt for flavor. I know that's one of the, I've been really, really avoiding salt in a lot of cases, and I know that between the liquid aminos and the salt that I'm adding, there's probably a lot of sodium, and I'll have to see how much that adds up to in terms of kind of dietary recommendations, and I'll get back to you on that. But anyway, glad you could stop back by, and I will see you later.